German journalist, the US instructors have been teaching radicals how to use new equipment.
You and the United States.
We got the missiles directly. They were delivered to a certain group. When the road was closed and was encircled, we had officers from Turkey, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the US here.
Doing what?
They were experts on how to use satellites, missiles, reconnaissance operations, and thermal observation cameras.
Also American advisors?
Yes, there were experts from many countries.
Also American?
Yes.
Well, earlier my colleague Nadira Tudor discussed this with the journalist Jürgen Todenhofer, who personally spoke to al-Nusra's commander.
The scenery was not very inviting. It was in a mine, in shooting distance of Jabhat al-Nusra forces, Al-Qaeda forces. And there was a moment when our driver thought we were trapped. He said in the film, they got us, because I had an appointment with the commander, but I didn't know that he would come with 10 fighters.
The situation that you're describing there sounds absolutely frightening.
It's not the first time that I meet a leader of the rebels. I met a leader of the Taliban twice. I was in the Islamic State. I was the only Western author who was 10 days in the Islamic State. I spoke with leaders of Jaish al-Islam because I think you have to speak with everybody to understand the conflict.
We've asked the US State Department about their alleged weapons supplies to al-Nusra in Syria. Their response was quite unclear, but they admitted some allied countries might actually support terror groups on the ground in Syria.
There are countries, and we've spoken about this before, who will also seek to support and back some of the opposition and may provide them with assistance. You know, I'm not saying the U.S. is going to do this.
Yeah, but this can be true. Maybe that there were allies in between, but everybody knows that they are using allies and they are allowing their allies. It doesn't matter if a Tau rocket, a Tau missile, which is an American missile, comes from another group. This is well known. And if I deliver weapons to a moderate, so-called moderate group in Syria, everybody knows that at the end the weapons will be in the hands of the terrorists. I would be happy if the spokesman of the State Department would be true, but it's very clear that the Americans know that their weapons will at the end be in the hands of terrorists, and they know that.
Syrian government forces have now recaptured one of the central districts of Aleppo. Artis Murad Gaziev has details.
We know that it began in the early hours of this morning, and from what we understand, most of Al-Fadfira district, which is right in the center of Aleppo, which has been in rebel hands now for years, that it's largely clear that the Syrian military has largely retaken the area. There is fighting still ongoing. The Syrian military says their losses have been only a few people injured, no one killed in action. Rebel sources say 12 government soldiers have been killed in action. However, reading between the lines here, the rebels appear to have retreated without offering much of a fight, which is surprising. It's a very dense urban area, the perfect area to defend from an attack, and the rebels by any measure should have stayed there, should have defended it. The fact that they retreated indicates that perhaps they're low on manpower, perhaps demoralized. The Syrian military says they left a vast amount of ammunition and guns behind, large caliber machine guns, mortars and things like that.
UK